it's on my bill here again. Double upload this week because it's, well, you know, life happens. Life happens and sometimes these things happen. So, yeah, that's it really. But as I'm sure you've seen, today's topic is turning 25, and I turned 25 at the beginning of this year. And I don't know, it's just an age, I feel like it's an interesting age, that's for sure. And I feel like it's an age where, for a lot of people, it feels like basically it's kind of, it's just a really weird age where you're kind of, I guess you feel like you should have everything, most things figured out, most things sorted, planned, or basically nearly on their way to being, you know, done, like the, you know, the foundations of your life, and then you spend like the rest of your adult years building up on that foundation, if that makes sense. So for me, it's kind of like, it's a really weird feeling, and it's not that it's like I have so many words but so few at the same time, because it makes me think a lot about how far I've come, but then again how little I've done, and sometimes how much I did with what I had, if that makes sense. So it's kind of, it's a weird age, but I'm just gonna get into how it felt. So it was kind of like when I turned 25, I thought I would feel like, at this point in my life, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's been when my entering my like young adult years, like when you come into your own apparently, and you're just doing your own thing. When I became the age of 18, going to university, then quitting university, and then doing an apprenticeship in my early 20s, and then being unemployed for some time, dipping in and out of unemployment, and now reaching this age of 25 and just going nowhere. It's kind of, it's really hard, and I think this is why it's hard. I feel a bit weird because, one, I'll tell you, social media, it's like the linchpin of all of my worries. In some ways, it's like whatever happens is always there, like you can't escape it. For young people nowadays who are in this world, you just can't escape social media. It's always around you, and it's hard, you know, when you see people that you used to know in like secondary school, and you just kind of add each other on a whim, you know, when you're like a kid in year 8 or 9 or whatever, you add your tutor class mates, your friends, you know, people in your year group or something like that, and then you forget about, after a while as you grow up, you don't get rid of them on Facebook, and then years later you see, oh, I know them, and you see them on Facebook and you see how well they've done, and it's this element of like, geez, where am I at my big age? And you feel that way, and I feel that way a lot, and it's really hard to not look at other people's successes, and you know how much work they put behind it, and I know how much work these people put behind it, and to, you know, succeed with those opportunities. But it's the fact that you always wonder why can't it be me, and you feel like you have to grow up quickly because there's no kind of leniency. It ends, I feel like, at the age of, like, after university, that's where I feel the leniency ends for people who are young adults. After that, you have to be an adult. You've got to know everything, right? And it feels that way because people, most of your life you spend working, right? And the people make you feel like that you need to know everything. And there's no leniency, and there's kind of, I feel like there's no acceptance of different kinds of, you know, ways of living and lives and family units, and that's the whole other thing. But it's kind of when your life doesn't fit the mold of what you as a young person were meant to do and become in order to be a functioning adult, or a, you know, a productive adult, should I say, rather than functioning, a productive adult. Then people, it's like you're not mature, you're a failure, you've done terribly. And the thing is, I struggle with this all the time. all the time, and that's social media is a big contributor to that. Two, mental health problems. I suffer from mental health problems. I won't go too deep into this video because I feel like it's a whole video of its own, and it's just a whole video of its own. But I have suffered. I've tried therapy, and all sorts of other things. It's kind of, you have to learn to live with it, if that makes sense. Like, it's constantly there when you're in the throes of like depression. I swear I've never felt this way in my life, and with turning 25 it just hit me how much of my life has been zapped and taken away. Like my young adult life, not my childhood, but like, you know, those crucial years when you're coming into your own. How much of my life has been taken away by that? How much, you know, failure has dominated my life. Like, it was inevitable and you can't avoid it. But with that comes, you know, the symptoms of it, I suppose, and it kind of snowballs into this depression, which I suffered and still suffer, and it hurts. You can't, I don't know, I feel personally like I can't escape it. It's always there, and the best thing that I feel I can do is live with it. But it's also the thing, when I'm 25, I'm like, I don't want to live with this. I don't want the best years of my life to be spent living with this all the time, and it's just darkening every corner of this kind of, you know, of my house, you know. I don't want it to control me like that, but I can't help it. You can't help it when you feel so overwhelmed and you feel like a sense of impending doom, and it comes over you, and you kind of feel completely crushed and overwhelmed. It's like that, and you feel so sad, like there's nothing else, and you kind of submit yourself to it's like a darkness. There's like the side of you that things you shouldn't possibly do, things that, you know, you used to cope, then unhealthy coping mechanisms, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of just say, I don't care, and it's kind of YOLO, but it's like not really a good thing. It's like you don't care about yourself, so it's like live and let live, c'est la vie, do you know what I mean? It's kind of, there's no point, you know. That's how it feels sometimes when you're trying to search for that joy. And it's kind of at this age, it's like when it's a very societal thing, I feel, how people treat this age. And it hurts when you have so many barriers in front of you, and when you're just trying to survive mentally and physically, and it hurts, it really hurts, and you can't help, but the best you can do is just live with it and try and survive, hoping that, you know, the day becomes better, and that, you know, the little things that you love will carry you through the day to the next one. So that's another thing, or another why, as to why I felt weird about turning 25. I guess number 3 is just all my failings. It's like, I know you're meant to not, failure is like just a road to success and all of this. I don't want to say cliche, but it kind of is. But sometimes I wish people wouldn't always feel like, some people just experience failure and there's not necessarily success or massive success for them. There's not things waiting at the end of that road, and people just have to deal with it because that's life. And it's not me being a pessimist, it's just I've experienced so much within a short time of my young adult and I guess now adult life, that it's hard to see where the good begins, because the good never comes, right? When it feels that way, you never see the good, and you're just kind of like, you're told to keep trying and trying and trying. but you're always getting hit after hit after hit, and it's like, when is it my turn? You know, and you can try as hard as you might, but it never works out that way. And you feel when some people just, things happen immediately, instantaneously for them, or it seems that way, and things just fall into their lap, and literally, objectively, that's literally what happens. They just seem like the most lucky people ever. And there's this envy and jealousy that you get, and you can't help it because you think, why not me? And it hurts, it really hurts. And then with all of those reasons as to why, it bubbles, and it kind of, on my birthday, I was trying to be as happy as I could, and it was kind of, when I turned 25, it's a very bittersweet feeling, because it's not a happy birthday for me in that sense. Birthdays are fun, you know, it's a party, it's a day about you, which, you know, I love, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you. But it's bittersweet overall, my birthday, and that's how I felt. Forgive me, I'm literally looking at what I'm meant to be talking about. So when I look back at how far I've come, have I done a lot? Because of what I have now, it's like, and for what? That's the question I'm asking myself, for and for what? You know, everything, the things I think, wow, you made the right decision there. But I've got to be honest with you, there's very few things in my life I could probably count them on one hand, and they're probably not even all of the 5 fingers. I could probably have 2 fingers, and that would be everything I've done right. And those 2 things have not even led me completely to where I want to go, and I still feel so incredibly lost. Very, very lost. It's just a sense of being lost. Completely and utterly lost, and not really knowing where to go at this age. It's kind of like people see you as an adult, and nobody calls you a kid anymore. There's no leniency, as I said before. There's no, like, and I'm not saying I want to be treated as a kid, definitely not, but I feel like people have to realize things happen in people's lives that make them the way they are, and to just dismiss them off and say you should do X, Y, Z, when the world is so big, people are so different, the units in which we thrive and live are so different. Why would you, it's like that, is dichotomy the right word? If I'm using that incorrectly, please forgive me. I don't know, but it's like that thing, it's a weird thing of where I shouldn't be saying that because it's hurting me as well. And it's tough to live with that, and it makes me feel weird. It really makes me feel weird. You know, looking back, I sometimes look at pictures of myself when I'm like younger, and I've got energy, and I'm bright in the face, and I look like I look like someone who knows that there's a lot to live for and be happy and joyful, and I feel everything around me currently is a little dark. And this is not to worry people or be like, think you might need help or something, but like, it's kind of like, let's be honest about our feelings. Not everything in life is happy, you know, and you have to be honest about that. You have to be honest with how you feel and communicate that with the people around you, you know. Reflecting back, looking at the now, looking at the future, taking in everything. Being reflective can really help sometimes. So, I don't know, that's just me. It sometimes helps me. And I guess the final part of this video would be celebrating my 25th birthday. This is the more positive part of the video. Okay, I am a positive person. I can be a very positive person. I'm trying, okay? So how did I celebrate it? It was a few months ago. How did I celebrate it? I should really know. Did I do anything massive for my birthday? I don't think I did. I got a cake. Do you know one of those cakes that you print, your face out on, from like a supermarket? I had one when I was 7, and I said to myself, you know what, actually, I wanted a cake with, what was it? I wanted a cake with SpongeBob on that said, "What's funny than 24? 25." That scene from one of the episodes, and I thought that was hilarious because why not? I just wanted that, but they wouldn't print it out because of, you know, legal reasons. But I really wanted that cake, but I didn't get it. But anyways, I decided to decorate one of the photo cakes. It comes plain, you can get them plain. And I got Victoria sponge, and I put like, I wish I'd taken a picture of it. I didn't take a picture of it. I put like little chocolate letters. Like, I'm sorry, but at the end, the cake came out looking like a 7-year-old had done it. And you know what? I don't care, because it sparked joy. It sparked joy in me, that's for sure, because it just did. You know, I'm not a cook, I'm not a chef, I'm not a baker, but that, I could do that much, and it made me feel a little bit happy, you know. I like doing bits in the kitchen, even though I'm not made for the kitchen, but anyway, so yeah, that's what I did for my 25th birthday. A few presents here and there. And I really cannot remember. This was not like a super memorable birthday. It was kind of overshadowed by, I don't want to call it, it's some negativity. But overall, I just want to say about turning 25 is it's okay to go at your own pace. And this is cliche, and I know people say this, but it really is, because it's just objectively, you cannot, with all of the barriers in my life, up until this point, even before like becoming a young adult that I've experienced, you just can't expect to be like other people who are living in certain, you know, units and in certain parts of the world. You can't expect to be like, everyone is different. They're completely and utterly different, even between siblings. So it's okay to compare, because that's how you feel. It's okay to feel that way. Please know it's okay to feel that way, because it's a natural thing to feel that way. But it's hard to work your way out of thinking that I shouldn't do that. And I think what helps sometimes for me is always focusing on the little things. You know, I'm a shopaholic, and I will window shop, and is on the online as well. I just love online stuff, shopping, looking at stuff. I'll be like, ooh, I like that, and I'll put them in a document, or I'll save them. You know, you keep them for later, and you're like, when I get the money, I'll buy that, and I'll buy that, and it makes me happy, little things like that. So I always find something to latch onto that brings a brighter tomorrow. That sounds like some sort of political campaign. That was very unintended. But yes, always try to find the silver lining somewhere, and it's cliche, I know, but that's how I've been getting through this whole thing, you know, and that's how I've been getting through to turning 25. So, that's all for this video. Thank you for listening to my ramblings, my very negative ramblings. I hope I haven't put a downer on your day, and possibly maybe even helped you a little. But yeah, have a great day, and see you next time.